Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this week's video I have Aga here with me because we will be talking about what it means to work in advertising. Now we've done similar video 4 years back, but we decided that we're going to take perhaps a tiny bit different twist on it and give you a bit more information on what it actually means to work in advertising.
And a bit of a disclaimer at the very beginning, we are not trying to sound anti-advertising, we just want you to tell you the exact truth of what it is like to work in advertising day to day, so before you decide to join the industry you can make more of an educated decision. And I wish I had known those things years back.
I think me too. So, with further ado, let's dive right in. Before you get into advertising, ask yourself, why is it that I actually want to work in this particular industry?
Are you just a creative person looking after working in a creative environment and winning some awards?
Or you just want to, be part of a cool, you have your creative input and want to be part of a cool campaign?
Or simply you just want to be able to say to other people that I work in advertising, because a lot of people think it's glam and it's a cool thing to do.
And you just need to be there for all the right reasons. Believe me, that's the most important thing that you need to identify within yourself. So what another question should they be asking themselves?
So which part of advertising do I really want to work in?
So there are different types of agencies. So you can have a media house, right? You can have a creative agency, you can have communication agency, design agency, you can have a production house, post-production house, localization,
or some specialist ones, like social media, for example,
SEO
agencies,
so the range is really wide. So if you really want to get into it, have a look, what is it that would interest you the most, and then pursue that.
And a bit of a hint, if you want to get to the most paid roles, go to the media house. But this is the least creative part of advertising you can do. It's all about, like the numbers, buying the media space and things like that. But I would also recommend to take an internship in like a creative agency where you can go across departments and really see for yourself what is it that you like the most.
Yeah, so and perhaps another question that you should be asking yourself, what do you see yourself doing in this type of environment? Like, do you want to work in client service, or do you want to be a project manager? Do you want to be a designer?
Yes, because there are a few key departments, and if you could group it into few advertising specific elements, that would be strategy. So all the planners who think about what do you do for the particular activity or campaign. You have this creative department, so they come up with the big ideas based on the strategy. Then you have the designers and developers, or technology teams, which focus more on the design and production. And then you have people like us, the client service. The talkers, the relationship builders, and obviously project managers who make everything possible and make the work happen.
So firstly, if you want to get into advertising because it sounds prestigious, think twice. You have to work non-stop, you have to work around the clock, you're going to work your butt off. And I'm not talking about 2 months of overtime, I'm talking about more like a few years, good few years of overtime, and that's pretty much a standard in the industry.
And this is nothing prestigious really, and when you think about it, it's all about blood, sweat and tears, regardless of your role, whether you're the project manager, whether you're the creative director, whether you're the account director. You need to be willing to work your butt off on a consistent basis.
And if you're just in it to win awards, then you just win an award, and that's pretty much about it.
I think it's extremely important, especially for the creative folks. But then you have award ceremonies every year, and year on year they sort of devaluate, because everybody's thinking, okay, who's going to win this year, and then the next one, and then the next one. So it's very future driven. So it's a moment of ceremony, but then you just keep going.
If you think that you will be making a lot of money, think twice again. So if you think that people in advertising are making a lot of money, it's really not true. There is a huge gap between the level of responsibilities and actual pay. And quite frankly, I wouldn't like to think I spent last 10 years of my life working pretty much pro rata for a minimum wage. But I think it could be not far off the truth.
If you actually count all the hours you have worked on and how much you are being paid for, that could be actually a fair statement. So you can definitely get a decent salary or even a very good salary if you work in advertising. But
On the executive level.
on executive level or like very senior level.
Like we're talking managing directors.
Yeah, but still when you compare it to other industries, I still think it's, you know, it's a bit underpaid.
It's really underpaid.
And the reason for it is that it's not the golden area for the advertising anymore. So the Mad Men times are like, you know, really over. And the industry is getting like, it's actually shrinking in a way that the clients are expecting more for less.
For
they are
very
constantly
less.
cutting their budgets, and they are also building the capabilities in-house. So these are actually very difficult times when it comes to the whole area of marketing and
So
advertising.
if you are in it for the money, I strongly advise you go to technology or go to finance. I believe where there is always money, that there will be money. But technology is booming, and the salaries are even, I would say, quite incomparable for the level of seniority if you would compare, you know, perhaps same level or years of experience. So if that's what you want to do, technology all the way.
If you can't deal with challenging people or difficult situations day to day, advertising is not for you, I'm afraid.
So more often than not, you will be facing with difficult situation or challenging clients, and this will be your pretty much, I would say, daily bread. And I kid you not, it takes a lot of energy, and I repeat, a lot of energy, so you have to be ready for that.
And the difficult situations will be happening day to day. So you need to be able not only to like manage them yourself, but also to navigate between the internal expectations of the people you work with and the client's expectations, who has, you know, their own perspective. So you'll be sort of a bit torn all the time on how to sort of marry the two.
And make sure everyone's happy.
Of course.
And another thing is you have to be the master of persuasion, I kid you not. Because the number of times you will need to try and deliver something on time and within the expectations of the client, you will have to go internally to convince people to do what you need them to do on time and to the quality.
Convince them to do overtime, and it's a bit of a drill and it's exhausting. But on the other hand, it comes quite handy in your personal life as well. And then it is quite often that you will meet managers or like people you will work with that have quite a lot of attitude or even arrogance around them. And you just need to be able to work with them, work through it, and just be fine with that.
Yeah, you'll have to properly suck it up and be a big boy or a big girl. But having said that, there is a plenty of super really cool people,
amazing people. That's why you go to this industry for.
That you meet there 100%.
If you don't like working with people that much because maybe you're a bit more of a technical person, you prefer to interact with people, you know, through your computer rather than face to face, then advertising is not for you either, I'm afraid.
You have to love chatting to people, you have to be a lovely and bubbly personality because you are the face of the company, you are the person that's interacting with the client. So I'm afraid one thing you cannot really be in this role is socially awkward.
And in a way, you have to almost be the people pleaser, and you need to be generally willing to help people out.
And another thing is that you have to be very good when it comes to collaborating with people, because you're gonna get into meetings and there will be a lot of meetings.
And conference calls.
Yeah,
A lot of the conference calls.
that too.
On the bright side, advertising is extremely casual. It's a great, like, non-formal environment, which I love about it the most. And we work hard, but we play hard too.
If you mind closing a project after million of revisions and then reopening it again to do some more, advertising is simply not for you.
And I see it with a lot of people that get extremely frustrated because whenever there's the week of closing the project, or you're nearly there after 78 rounds of events, because you know there are different clients involved, and you know a lot of the feedback is can be quite subjective, and there's a lot of parties involved.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna happen. It's the reality of the job.
Or you get, like, after you close the project, you can get a complete debrief.
And do it again.
Yeah, so
With multiple rounds of amends.
I don't think that there is anything more motivating than that, but you will have to suck it up with a smile on your face, and trust me, this won't be easy, and it won't be easy even for the most optimistic bunch out there, I'm afraid.
So who do you really need to be personality-wise to be a great match for the industry? And we actually wrote down the list just to make sure we don't skip on anything.
So first thing on the list is that you have to be very open and bubbly personality that gets on easily just about with anyone.
Someone who does not take no for an answer.
Someone who thrives in a challenging environment.
Someone who takes pride in their work and therefore pays great attention to details.
And someone who is stress reliant and does not take criticism to the heart, because trust me, you will get under many situations where you will be exposed to rather very harsh criticism, and you have to be resilient to that.
Someone who is a true team player. Advertising is a team sport and you need to know how to play and who to play it with.
And how to win this, in fact.
Oh, true that.
So another point is that you have to be someone that goes extra mile more often than not.
Mm-hmm. Someone who is very resourceful, because we can see different solutions to different problems.
Someone who is actually passionate and loves creative work.
And if you are really and genuinely willing to learn new things day to day, month to month, like all the time.
And this is the upside of the advertising, because it's such a dynamic, ever-changing environment. And this is why we, both of us, really like advertising, because
it's a lot of fun.
Because it's never a dull day.
Yeah. Just to wrap it up, I think what really sums up working in advertising is when a lot of people actually have sort of like love-hate relationship with their work, because there'll be the times where you'll be like flying high and you'll be loving it, you'll be like rocking it.
Yeah, you'll feel like you're killing it.
Yeah, and then the next time you'll be like, oh, I can't do it anymore, I hate it, I can't handle it, the pressure, the stress.
And this is what
okay.
comes after the millionth of revision. Yeah, it really does. Yeah, there's a situation. So if any of what we just discussed sounds like something you would like to try, feel free and go and apply to different types of agencies. Two of us are hiring, so
all the time.
Yeah, so happy for you to apply with us. And if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, and I'd love to hear any of your thoughts on, like, if you think advertising is something cool where people work, or if you think that you could see yourself in advertising, or if it's completely just not for you. Please let us know in the comment box down below, and as always, be kind, stay positive. I'll see you next time. Bye!